So Xbox Game Pass's second half of May is bringing more titles, including some day one games. I'm Sonny, your host at Xbox Central, and we start this off with FIFA 23. Today it lands on Xbox Game Pass, and one of the awesome new additions to this franchise this year is the fact that you can cross-play with PlayStation and PC players, as well as the Xbox Series X and S community. For me, that was one of the highlights. This year's also bringing in an upgraded version to last year's improvement with the hypermotion technology, which is those ultra-realistic animations that were introduced to the game, and it's just a step up to the realism that FIFA continues to try to improve with its franchise. As always, one of my favorite things to enjoy is the career mode, where you take a player and you take him on his football/soccer career and you just take him up the ranks. This year also introduces the women's football clubs and a new power shot that, when timed correctly, can literally turn the tide of the match you're in. I've gotten to personally enjoy FIFA 23 this year. I mean, it's still mostly the same as previous years. Sure, there could be more improvements, but I think they've improved quite a bit. As a guy who isn't the biggest soccer fan, FIFA always manages to keep me hooked with its pretty much solid gameplay. FIFA 23 is now available on consoles and PC. So Eastern Exorcist is a game where you play as an exorcist trying to combat a deadly evil taking over the world, and really the game's best described as a hardcore side-scroller where you can expect to probably die a lot, as the game's bosses can be pretty hard. It has this fast action combat, but it's also pretty tactical, as you really need to nail down the correct moves with the correct timing. The visuals in this game are pretty nice. They have this hand-drawn Chinese painting style that I really like a lot, and the game's kind of like a mixture of Castlevania, maybe mixed with Blasphemous, so kind of a throwback to the more hardcore, difficult side-scrollers with a little bit of a modern touch. Eastern Exorcist launches on May 18th on consoles and PC. So Ghostlore has been available previously for PC Game Pass, but it now makes its way onto consoles this May. It's a top-down action RPG inspired by old school titles like Diablo 2 and Titan Quest, but it's got a Southeast Asia theme. You fight a series of monsters in a procedurally generated world, essentially just stringing together abilities from skill trees that you build up on your own. With a game like this, the loot is really the central motivation, as well as building out your character completely unique to your playstyle. They have a glyph system, combo skills that you can combine from different classes, and of course you end up choosing the weapon of your choice. Overall, the best way to kind of describe this game is just really mindless fun, and if you're into Diablo style games with no real purpose other than just to kill things, build up a character, and collect tons of loot, I think this one might be for you when it lands on May 18th across Xbox consoles. Now, a gorgeous day one Xbox Game Pass title coming this month is Planet of Lana. This is one of the more exciting new puzzle platformers that arrives this year. The game puts you in the shoes of a young girl who embarks on a wild journey, and alongside her comes her loyal companion through this mysterious planet to keep her safe. But doing so is not going to be easy, as her once peaceful planet has slowly morphed into something entirely different. Odd machines have completely taken over, and now it's up to her to find a solution to put an end to this new evil. And though the game gives a bit of a post-apocalyptic touch, Planet of Lana is actually a pretty relaxing cinematic adventure filled with some very awesome puzzles, beautiful landscapes, and an interesting narrative. The game's been on my radar for a while, and I'm really excited it finally launches onto Game Pass this May 23rd on consoles and PC. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to manage your own railway company in the 1800s, Railway Empire 2 might be up your train tracks, as this is a day one Xbox Game Pass title that has you turning your steam engines into the largest railway company that's ever existed. This is a simulation management game through and through, where you take on the role of a savvy businessman who starts his journey with just this small company, but then transforms it into a powerhouse moneymaker. And while doing so, to get ahead of the competition, you'll be constructing railways, bridges, tunnels to make that perfect rail network, while also investing in freights, passenger cars, and a lot more, so you can grow a thriving railway business. The game features 14 different scenarios, a construction mode to build, 5 chapter campaign modes, as well as a co-op multiplayer mode that lets you build an empire with a buddy. Railway Empire is set to hit Game Pass on May 25th on consoles, cloud, and PC. So Cassette Beasts is set to finally land on consoles here soon, and what really sets this apart from Pokemon or others like it is that instead of catching them in a ball or something of that nature, you actually catch them with cassette tapes. Not only that, but interestingly here, there isn't levels to each monster, but instead you level yourself, and when you do, each monster you summon you'll be turning yourself into, so you'll have all the power-ups and abilities because you're the powerful monster trainer. On top of that, there is tons of customization with each monster as well, well. There's 10 different slots you can fill with moves or passives or even special effects that you can find with rare tapes. The game's also filled to the brim with quests and dungeons to explore, mixed with the 90s retro art style and the fact that really this is just no ordinary Pokemon-like game. It's a title that really does stand on its own. This is an Xbox Game Pass sleeper in my opinion, and one that I absolutely recommend. Expect to see this drop on consoles on May 25th. Massive Chalice is a unique game where you play as an immortal ruler of a nation that takes control of a group of heroes that battles an evil enemy over the course of 300 years. What makes this turn-based strategy title unique is that because you are immortal, the heroes that you control over the years will actually die over time, whether it's just through battle or of old age, which that also means you have to fortify bloodlines to ensure that the new warriors are ready to take up and fight when their parents or grandparents pass away. So you'll be marrying heroes together and manipulating bloodlines so you can keep strong warriors alive for the fight. It's a fun and interesting concept as you battle over time to save the world, but also you manage your warriors over that course of period as well. Massive Chalice is set to launch on Game Pass on cloud and consoles on May 25th. There's been some decent games to drop this year, but out of indie games for me, Farworld Pioneers is near the top. It's a Terraria in space where your objective is to build your own massive ship, explore completely new alien planets, and colonize them for the human race. But of course, landing on new planets probably means you'll be dealing with hostile aliens. This is a sandbox through and through with procedural generation in regards to what you'll find on the planets, but what sets this game apart from like the Terraria spin-offs is the actual colonies you make. You can build massive sci-fi fortresses, you'll be recruiting people and building towns that will help you get even more powerful and explore even more of the galaxy further. Even the AI survivors that you recruit all come with their own unique stats and perks and flaws, and they can die as well. So you want to make sure you keep them safe and fed, and they're able to teach themselves how to survive on their own without you as you explore even further. The game has full mining, farming, researching, developing, and of course insanely wild combat with the guns and the sci-fi and just the variety of weapons. If you're into sandbox titles, this is one to look for as it drops on May 30th on consoles. Chicory, A Colorful Tale takes you on an adventure where you play as Chicory's #1 fan, and the superstar artist herself has vanished, and you're left to pick up the mantle that she's left behind to try to solve the mystery of what happened. This is a game about a coloring book where you can draw and paint whatever you want, and you have to use your painting powers to find new areas, to solve puzzles, and hopefully find what's happening in this strange world. This is a more lighthearted title for those who just love art and gaming, love to explore and experiment, enjoy collectibles, and you get about 10 hours of gameplay with all the side quests and the main story, and the game does feature a local co-op if you have a friend to join in on the adventure. Chicory, A Colorful Tale paints its way onto Game Pass on May 30th on consoles and PC. And with that, I want to touch on a rumored Xbox Game Pass title. Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 showed up on an Xbox Game Pass commercial in Japan right in the background, and I think it's just a matter of time before we see it. I've gotten to play all these games over the years, all the Car Mechanic Simulator games, and they're just super helpful for a pleb like me who knows nothing about cars. As far as July games, we don't know a lot of games coming, but we did get some news. Amnesia the Bunker was set to release this month, but it did get delayed until June 6th, so we're gonna have to wait a little longer for that. We also got a confirmed title in Dordogne coming this June 13th. This is a narrative-driven game about a girl who revisits her childhood to uncover family secrets. It's a charming hand-painted title that's meant to be a pretty relaxing and chill adventure. And staying on the topic of games coming later this year, we got news about Hollow Knight Silksong that was apparently meant to be launched in the first half of 2023 on a Game Pass, but now it's been delayed a little bit further. This is one of the most anticipated games of the year and is shaping up to be possibly one of the best Metroidvania titles of all time, but of course we'll see when we get our hands on that later this year. Finally, we take a look at games leaving Game Pass on May 31st, and as always, you get a sweet discount to buy these games so you can continue playing them, and in total we have 5 games. If you want a list of the best games to play on Game Pass though, click that video on the screen.